Coach Mike. Today we're going to talk about a hip hinge progression. With the hip hinge, first and foremost, we want to understand why. So with our population here at MASH Performance, we see a couple of things, especially in youth and older adults. It's something we call quad dominance, or the inability to differentiate knee movements versus hip dominant movements. Okay, athletics, movement in general is a lot of hips. So what we want to do is we want to start basic, and we can take this as far as we want to go with it. So if I have Coach Nate right here, what he's going to do first is the most basic way to get into a hip hinge, is what we refer to as athletic position. I'm just going to have him put his hands on his thighs. He's pushing his butt straight back that way. If he's doing this, if he lacks a little bit of mobility or flexibility, he might feel a hamstring stretch. That's perfectly fine. That's what we want. In this position, what we're trying to do is look from our head to our tailbone. We have a neutral spine, right? The natural curve of our spine is there. We're not over flexing or overextending either way, right? If we don't understand that, we need to take a step back and go there first, okay? So this is the most basic position here. If somebody's having issues understanding where their hips are in space, do something simple and just flip them over, him or her over, and put them next to a wall. So I'll just tell him reach back as far as you can until you feel the wall, right? Because then his knees are a little bit straighter. He understands the difference between going backwards and going down, okay? When the individual masters that part and they understand how to come up and down from that movement, what muscles we're trying to target, bracing, breathing, all that other good stuff, we'll move into what we call a kneeling squat. So what we're doing here is we're taking the knee and the ankle out of the equation. So I'll have Coach Nate. He's kneeling on a couple rubber plates here. We want him probably about 4 to 6 inches off the ground, just enough to where we take the feet out of the equation so they can't cheat. And then again, we're trying to start and have them understand stacking our whole body in one plane. And then when he goes back, he's just gonna reach as far as he can till he feels those kettlebells, get a good grip on it. And then again, we're looking for neutral spine right here. He's got a good breathing pattern, he's bracing his belly, and then when he stands up, he's pushing his hips through, not using our hamstrings or our low back to do the motion. We should see really tight glutes or butt cheek muscles at the top. And then that kettlebell, those kettlebells are staying right in line with the sides of his thigh, maybe slightly in front or slightly in back, okay? And then if they're having issues with that, or if he loses tension in his upper back, or he's rounding over here, sitting into it, what we'll do is we'll start him over, and then I'll just go here and say, pinch my hands, understand lat tension, right? So we're trying to take the kettlebells and push them into our body to kind of support our low back, right? And then again, what he was doing before, he was kind of sitting down into it using all knees. Somebody doing this is gonna complain about tension through here, or a stretch through here. They're gonna feel patellar tendon tightness, whatever. Again, that's what we're trying to avoid by taking the knees out. So we're gonna stabilize this, and we're gonna mobilize the hip, keeping our body in one straight line, okay? So when they understand that, from tension to breathing to hip hinging there, then we're gonna take the knee and the ankle back into it, and we're gonna do a little feedback drill that we like to use here at MASH, PVC 2-point contact drill. So he's gonna wield the sword, just go right overhead with it, okay? This is just providing basically a brace, or a stick to maintain contact with the head, the upper back, and then somewhere between the low back and the tailbone, okay? If his hand is too high, the contact is gonna be in that arch position, and we don't want that certainly, right? So when we're doing this, we're checking our feet. Feet are always gonna be a little bit closer together than a squat. Toes are gonna be straight ahead. He wants to maintain contact on those 3 points, and then with a slight bend in the knees, just enough to unlock, we're gonna shove our butt back, maintaining this contact here. So this is going back, the head is gonna drop forward a little bit, that's fine. And then coming up by squeezing the cheeks together. Okay, so a bad rep, if you go down and show him what that looks like, Coach. Yep, see, he lost that position right here. Or we'll see a forward head posture. When he goes down, head's gonna come back. Or if he goes forward head posture on this next one, they lose contact here. Okay, we want to maintain all 3 points of contact there. Okay, so if they have trouble with the knees there, what we can do simply is just take a little mini hurdle or a box like this, and what we're gonna do is just, could you narrow your feet up for me? Put that right in front of their shins, okay, and then common cue, just don't knock it over, right? So if he goes back, the hurdle's either not gonna get touched, or if it is touched, it's not gonna be enough to fall forward. If it does that, we're now quad dominant or knee dominant movement, and that's what we're trying to prevent. Thanks for watching the hip hinge progression. That one can be a little bit difficult to master at times, so if you have questions, make sure you comment below. Subscribe to our social media, our YouTube page, all that fun stuff, and then keep following along for more videos in the future.